Hello, everyone. So I hope you all enjoyed the read aloud of Land of the Cranes, written by Aida Salazar. So before we get into our lesson for the day, I want to take a moment just to kind of hint at our memory again and just kind of remind ourselves about what we had just read, which is Land of the Cranes. And something we discussed was symbolism and how symbolism was used throughout the story. So can anyone remind me the symbolism that we discussed in Land of the Cranes? Yeah, so we talked about how the cranes were used as a symbolism and metaphorically throughout the different poems of flying and freedom and how they always move together from location to location. And that's something that Aida wrote about in terms of Batista really longing for that because she was separated from her poppy and she was just with her mom and she wanted to be reunited with him and they really missed him and she just wanted to fly to freedom, right? So today we are going to be talking about symbolism and we are also going to be talking about how metaphors are also used throughout the poetry. And then you are all going to be creating your own understanding of symbolism and creating your own story and piece of artwork actually using an animal of your choice that you feel symbolizes something about yourself. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's nothing that I know we can't do. And it's going to be really fun. And then after we work on the art piece of this lesson, we're going to move on to some language arts and we're going to do a little bit of writing. And that is the piece of paper, this worksheet that we're going to hand out that you see in front of you called Animal Symbolism. So, in terms of the piece of artwork, we are going to be, like I said, you are all going to be drawing, and we probably won't get to painting today, unfortunately, due to time, but you are all going to be drawing a picture of an animal that symbolizes something personal to you. So my example of what I'm going to be drawing is it is going to be a cat. And the reason I chose a cat is because I've had cats my whole life. A cat was my first pet that I had. My mom's first pet when she was a little girl was a cat. And we just always had cats in our life. And we have two dogs also now. But cats have always just had a special place in my heart, you could say. And the reason there's so much symbolism to me through cats is because my cat specifically, I have a boy cat, and he is extremely smart, but also very confident and proud in himself. For example, he always has to be above us. So one of us, like, for example, if I'm sitting on the couch, he has to be right above me, sitting on a shelf or sitting on a counter or just something above me. And they're extremely smart animals as well. There's one time my cat used to be an indoor outdoor cat before he got a little older. And he's not only an indoor cat, but when he was younger, he used to go in our backyard and we used to get coyotes in our backyard. And there was one time a coyote came and he immediately ran to the door and knew he had to come inside for safety. So they're extremely smart animals, but also have lots of confidence and pride in themselves. And that's something that's, as a human, is really, really admirable and something that I have to work on myself. So that is why I chose a cat. And that is why cats symbolize something personal to me. Because one, I grew up with cats and I love cats, but also they symbolize values that I definitely want to have in my own character. So we are going to begin that art lesson and we're going to pass out some paper, some colors, and I want you guys to begin drawing your animals. And then in a few, we're going to come back and we are going to begin the writing part. And this is your exit ticket for today. So you cannot leave until you are done answering these questions. So you might not have a ton of time to do everything you want on your picture. That's totally fine. We will be coming back and coloring and painting that picture. But I really want to make sure you guys are able to answer these two questions on the worksheet that we're going to be handing out. So take a minute and begin drawing, and then we're going to regroup, and I'm going to explain the picture to you guys. Okay, so I hope you guys all took some time and drew and maybe even got to some coloring. So now I want us to go over the writing portion of this lesson. So in front of you or on my screen, you can see that this worksheet says animal symbolism. And there are two questions. And the first question is, why did you choose this animal? the second question is, what meaning does this animal have to you? So I'm going to answer these two questions before you guys answer them yourselves. So I chose a cat as my animal because I've grown up with cats and they've always been around my whole life. And I also feel a personal connection to their character as they are very strong and prideful animals. And they also are very quick and always know how to get out of danger and seek safety in moments where there's not a lot of time. And what meaning does this animal have to you? This animal has a lot of meaning to me because, like I said, I grew up with cats. My mom also grew up with cats. And even though I have dogs now, cats have always been around longer in my life. So a cat has a lot of meaning to me because it's something that I've grown up with. And definitely when I don't live at home either. So when I do go home and I visit my family, the first thing I want to see is my cat because I just love him so much and he's my everything. So having that special connection to cats is something that means a lot to me, and cats mean a lot to me. My cat specifically means a lot to me. So I want you guys to take a few minutes to answer these two questions. Don't forget to put your name and the date. And then once you guys are all done, we're going to collect the worksheets and we are going to continue and move on to the next lesson. Again, no worries if you didn't finish your drawing, that is a-okay. You will have more time tomorrow to color and paint. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to be here, so just raise your hand and I'll come on and answer them.